Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for joining, but please don't forget to subscribe. Please, I beg you, please, to support my channel. So, and to all my returning subscribers, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you for joining and watching. So today I want to talk about a video that someone sent to me. Was it yesterday? Yes, a friend of mine sent that video to me yesterday, and I went ahead to check it on TikTok, and I saw different kinds of comments, about this video and the lady in particular. And this video is about a lady that was born and raised in one of these developed countries, and she was talking about how her parents ruined her life, how they traumatized her while she was growing up, how she was made to do things that ordinarily a child should not do. How she was saddled with the responsibility of an adult while she was a child. So before I go on, I would like you guys to watch this video if you have not seen it before. And if you have seen it before, of course, you can forward it to someone so that when we come back, then we'll talk about it.
You guys, I'm sorry. I've been crying since I woke up this morning. I'm sorry, I need a minute. Okay, so I woke up this morning to a very heated argument with my African Nigerian mother about the trauma that she put me through. About the trauma that she and my dad put me through. How they used to beat the shit out of me as kids. And I'm going to the gym right now because I need to take all this energy off. I already used my Florida water this morning, but I'm so traumatized because they fucked my life up. They treated me like an adult when I was a child. I took care of my siblings. I took them to school. I bathed them. I raised my siblings as of like 10 years old, because as of 9 years old, I was back home. I was taking them to school. I was feeding them. And now I was trying to tell her the things that she did to me and how she ruined my life, and how I can't have a regular relationship with anybody. Like, my relationship is fucked up because my trauma keeps popping up in there and I keep projecting it on them, and it just fucked them up. And I was trying to talk to her today because she did the same thing to my sister. And I told my mother, I said, Mom, the way you're going about this thing, you're gonna lose this girl. She's gonna leave the house, and the same shit she did to me when I left home at 17, you're gonna do it to this girl. And she was like, well, if I didn't do that to you when you were a child, are you gonna be the way you are right now? I was like, Mom, are you serious right now? You traumatized me. You fucked up my life. My dad used to beat me. Like, he wouldn't stop beating me until there was blood on my body. Like, until he saw that I was bleeding. And now she wants me to call him and talk to him and kiki with him. And I'm telling her it can't be possible, and she's asking me to forgive. I have forgiven, but I would never forget because you fucking hurt me. And now I have to go to...
Welcome back, guys. I hope you've seen that video. So, I don't know what you think about that video. I don't know what your opinion is, but I just want to say what I feel about what that young lady went through and why it is important for us to understand that we cannot afford to treat or to raise our children the way our parents raised us, mostly. Because if we were to like look back at the way we were raised, the truth is some of the things that our parents did to us was a form of abuse one way or the other. So, but in this time and generation, time and season that we have, we cannot afford to raise our children the way our parents raised us. That's number one thing. Not 100%. There are some things that, of course, that our parents did to us or made us to do that has really helped us. And of course, we can do the same. Sorry, I'm chewing gum. Now we can do the same to our children. You understand? So it's not, but mostly the truth is we cannot afford to raise our children the way our parents raised us, because times are changing. Times are changing. So we cannot afford to make the same mistakes that our parents make. So, and then going to what the lady said, and I really want to talk to parents that are abroad, because the truth is what our parents did to her is not acceptable anywhere. It shouldn't be acceptable, because a child should not be saddled with the responsibility of an adult. As a parent, of course, you should give birth to children, that the number of children that you know you can take care of. As a parent, you cannot use or pass down your frustration on your children. You cannot say because, oh, you find yourself in this particular situation, then it's your children that will pay for it. No. So today, I just want to talk to parents that are abroad, because this lady was born and raised abroad, and she went through those things that she went through with her parents. And God's so good. She wasn't the kind of child, that would call children's services, social services on her parents. But in situations like this, you find children doing that when they cannot take it anymore. And that is why we find the system taking children from parents. Because you are making your child to do things that, one, is beyond our age, is beyond our capacity as a child. A child should be made to be a child. A child should be made to enjoy his or her childhood. It's not that we should not send our children on errands. It is not that we should not ask our children for help. Of course, we are abroad. It's not easy. It's not easy, to juggle your work, house chores. You have to work because you need to pay bills. It's not a joke when you're staying abroad, because you have to go to work, you have to pay bills. Sometimes you do more than one shift just to make ends meet. Of course, and we all understand that. I do that. I had to work extra to make sure that my family is okay. My husband does extra to make sure that we are okay. But one thing is this: because we're staying abroad, it does not mean that we should saddle our children with responsibilities that are beyond them, that is above their age grade. Because that lady, according to her, she was made to take care of her siblings, bathe them, take them to school, feed them, when she herself was a child, and her parents didn't see anything wrong in it. She also said that her father would beat her to the extent that until the man sees blood coming out of her body, that is when the father will stop. That is an abuse. You don't treat your child like that. You don't do that to any child anywhere, abroad or no abroad. But like I said, I just want to address parents that are abroad. See, I understand that we need to work. We need to do extra to make ends meet. But there are ways we can also go about these things, especially if you are here with your wife or with your husband. Both of you need to plan your schedule in such a way that you will have time for your kids. You will have time to be able to tend to them. You need to plan your schedule to accommodate the things you will help your children with. For example, when we came into the United States, my husband and I, even though people were like coming like, oh, you need to do, there's this job, you can do all night, you can do this. But we know, we understood that both of us cannot, number one, do all night job. Because one thing is, I can't do all nights. It's not in my system. I don't think I can be used to it. And the same thing with my husband. But we planned our schedule in such a way that I go out first in the morning and then he goes out later after the children have been taken to school. And the school our children were attending were so close to the house that in the afternoon they walked back from school. Then I had my son. My son was just 4 years old when we came into this country. I could have just said, oh, that my older daughter should take care of him, drop him off, because then we enrolled him in a daycare. But I made sure that we had to drop him off in the morning by ourselves. If I'm not able to drop him, my husband would drop him off. And then when I'm coming back in the afternoon, I pick him up. If I'm not able to pick him up, I have people that I can call. I can place a call to my very good friend. She'll pick. I have another person from my church. I will just call her and she'll help me to pick. I have never had to tell my daughter to go and take my son from the daycare, even though the daycare is not very far from home. But it is not our responsibility at that age because she was also very young. So we need to plan these things. Your children should not be saddled with your responsibility. Number one is you gave birth to your children. You had a choice. Of course, there are exceptions where, you don't plan for the pregnancy and then the pregnancy a child comes in and then you have to, take care of the child. But the truth is this. You are having a relationship with your husband without protection. Anything can happen. And when it happens, it is your responsibility to take care of your child. Not having your child, you're not having another child take care of another child. The girl was 9 years old when she started taking care of her siblings. So you can imagine how old the siblings were when she was 9 years old. And these parents were putting all our frustration on those children. And she recognized that she's been traumatized. When I was reading people's comments on the TikTok about the video. So many people did not support what the parents did. So many people condemned their action. But few people were like, they were training her to be a strong woman. They were, preparing her for the future. That's not how to prepare a child. That is not how to train a child. That's not how to train a child. In this case, you would lose your child. If you do not lose your child to the system, you're going to lose your child. Emotionally, your child will not want to have a relationship with you. Imagine her saying that her mom was telling her to try and call her father and forgive. And she said no, that she couldn't find herself, having a relationship with her father because of the trauma that she was made to go through. She left home when she was 17 years because of the trauma. And the same thing is happening to her sister. I am not here to judge any parents, but the thing is, we need to be careful with the kind of responsibilities we place on our children. I'm not saying that your children should not help you. Of course, you need to train your child. You need to train your children to be useful to themselves, to the society, to you, to their generation, to God. Yes, you need to teach your children. You need to train them. But you need to be very careful. You need to be sure that you are not abusing your child when you think you are trying to discipline your child. There's a thin line between abuse and discipline. A child should not be made to take care of another child. It is your responsibility as a parent to take care of your child. You don't tell a 9-year-old to feed, to bathe, to take your other kids to school. You've taken her childhood from her. You've taken the joy of being a child from her. And that is why we see some families that are separated today. That is why we see some children not having relationships with their parents because of the way they were treated. We need to be careful how we treat our children. We need to be, I'm not saying that we should not teach our children to help us. I'm not saying that our children should not do house chores. But there should be a difference between saddling your child with the responsibility of an adult and teaching your children how to be useful to themselves, to the society, to you. There's a difference. In our own case, our parents abused her, and now she's traumatized. It's our experience is affecting our relationship with people, because she cannot afford to have a regular relationship with people because of the trauma that she went through. We need to be very careful, especially for parents that are abroad. Of course, we have to work, we have to pay bills. Staying abroad, when you stay abroad, it's not easy because everything you have, you pay for. Yes, we all know that. But let us understand that it is not all about making money. We need to be available for our children. We need to show them love. We need to create time. We need to do what we're supposed to do for our children, not shifting that responsibility to one of your children. And please don't let us take out our frustration on our children. Of course, it's not easy. You go out in the night, sometimes you go out at night and come back in the morning. You know, some people do night shift. Some people go out 7 a.m. and they will not be back home until 7 p.m. But if you are lucky to have your spouse with you, please, you people should work your schedule in such a way that it will accommodate your children. In such a way that it will accommodate them, so that you will not saddle them with responsibilities that are not theirs. A child should be allowed to be a child. And let us stop taking out our frustration. Because when you're frustrated because of what you do, when you have to go out, you start thinking of what you have to do and everything. Sometimes you get so angry. If you are not careful, you eat your children in such a way that after eating them, you ask yourself that, why did I do this? Please, let us be careful of how we treat our children. Let us be very, very careful. This lady, it's only God knows if she will be able to have a steady and stable relationship with her parents again. It will take God's grace. It will take therapy. It will take constant talking. It will take plenty of love for her to have a stable relationship with her parents. And for her to come out and say this on social media, it shows that she has gone through so much. She's gone through so much. So please, as parents, especially parents that are staying abroad, let us be careful. And I pray that God will help us. And as usual, please leave your comments. I appreciate them. And don't forget to share. Thanks, everyone. Bye.